And welcome back to the channel. Today we're travelling back to the 15th of November 1527 to mark the death of an important but often overlooked figure from the Yorkist dynasty, Katherine, Countess of Devon, also known as Katherine of York. She was the daughter of King Edward IV and Elizabeth Woodville, making her a key player in the complex web of Tudor-Yorkist relations. So let's deep dive into her life. Katherine of York was born into one of the most powerful and turbulent families in English history. She was the 6th daughter and 9th child of King Edward IV, the first Yorkist king of England, and his controversial queen, Elizabeth Woodville. Being part of such a large and politically significant family, Katherine had a front row seat to the Wars of the Roses and the dramatic changes that reshaped the English monarchy. Her sister Elizabeth wed the new king Henry VII, and the couple welcomed their first child Arthur in 1496. So at this point, Katherine is sister to the Queen and aunt to the heir of England. Katherine's life was intertwined with the court's political manoeuvrings from an early age. In 1495, when she was about 18, she married William Courtenay, Earl of Devon, one of the most prominent noblemen in the southwest of England. This marriage tied her to another powerful family and strengthened the Yorkist influence in the region. Katherine's marriage to Courtenay produced 3 children, which included Henry Courtenay, who would later become Marquess of Exeter and close ally of his cousin, King Henry VII. Was it Marquis of Exeter? Her first child came only a year after the marriage in 1496, and in 1497 her husband rose in prominence when he helped defeat the pretender Perkin Warbeck. Katherine could often be found at court by her sister's side, and she took an active part in royal events such as the betrothal celebrations of her niece Margaret Tudor to the King of Scotland. Katherine's family connections were impressive. Her eldest sister, Elizabeth of York, married King Henry VII, uniting the warring houses of York and Lancaster after the Wars of the Roses. This made Katherine the sister-in-law to the king, placing her family within the Tudor inner circle, even as political winds shifted. Unfortunately, Courtenay's favour was short-lived. In 1502, he was implicated in the Duke of Suffolk's rebellion. Despite a lack of solid evidence, he found himself imprisoned in the Tower of London. In response, King Henry VII swiftly confiscated all of Courtenay's possessions, leaving Katherine and their 3 children reliant on the support of her sister, the Queen. Though Courtenay avoided a traitor's execution, his imprisonment stemmed largely from his marriage to a Plantagenet princess. Katherine faced many hardships, worsened by the death of her youngest son, while she was staying with Elizabeth. Lacking the means to pay for her son Edward's funeral, Katherine depended on her sister's generosity, not only for his burial, but also for her mourning attire during that difficult time. The following year, in 1503, Katherine was the chief mourner for her sister, Queen Elizabeth, who had died from childbirth complications. Without her sister, Katherine had now lost a big supporter and ally, both financially and emotionally. However, Katherine's life was not without hardship. In 1511, her husband William Courtenay died, and following his death, Katherine took a vow of chastity, so no new husband could be found for her. She devoted the rest of her life to piety and religious observance, living a relatively quiet life, especially compared to her earlier years in the political spotlight. She settled at Tiverton Castle in Devon, where she focused on managing her estates and maintaining her spiritual commitments. Catherine took decisive steps to secure her son Henry Courtenay's future, and after his father's downfall, at just 10 years old, Henry was her hope to reclaim the family status, and she worked to ensure that he would inherit his father's title. In 1512, she also arranged for her daughter Margaret to marry the heir of the Earl of Worcester, further strengthening the family's connections. Although Catherine rarely appeared at court after these events, she did become the godmother of Mary Tudor in 1516. Little did she know that her Plantagenet lineage would bring further misfortune. When her nephew, King Henry VIII, sought to divorce his wife, Catherine of Aragon, her family's position became a precarious one. Her son, Henry Courtenay, was later executed for corresponding with their cousin, Cardinal Reginald Pole, a prominent critic of King Henry VIII. Catherine's grandson, Edward Courtenay, also faced imprisonment and exile after his involvement in Wyatt's rebellion, which aimed to overthrow Queen Mary Tudor. On this day, the 15th of November in 1527, Catherine passed away at the age of 49 at Tiverton Castle. Her death marks the end of a life that had seen her family's fortunes rise and fall dramatically. While she had lived through the turmoil of the Yorkist and Lancastrian struggle for the throne, she had also witnessed the establishment of the Tudor dynasty, a dynasty she was connected to through both her sister's marriage to King Henry VII and her own children's involvement in the Tudor court. Catherine was buried in St Peter's Church, Tiverton. Catherine's decision to take a vow of chastity and withdraw from the political fray after her husband's death reflects a quieter but no less significant aspect of noble women's lives during the Tudor period. Her story serves as a reminder of the women who, while not always in the spotlight, played crucial roles in maintaining the fabric of England's noble houses. And that's where we'll wrap up today's video. Catherine of York may not be the most famous member of the Yorkist family, but her connections to both the Yorkist and Tudor dynasties make her an intriguing figure in English history. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss any future videos. But until the next time, have a wonderful day. Bye!